Hey, what is going on, everybody? So in today's video, I want to talk all about Skillitary. Now, since the rework of patch 5.3, they've actually improved quite substantially, I would say, and they're a lot more reliable when it comes to taking out teams in Alliance War. Now, for the first part of this video, I am going to be going through a clip from one of my live streams where it does show me using the Skillitary team against Marauders, and I do have some commentary as I go through that, as like my other war videos. And in the second part of my video, of this video, I want to go over the Skillitary team in my roster page. And I kind of want to go over the team, kind of let you guys know what you need to build with them in order to get it working properly, which characters to use if you are not aware of already, and what I think about the team as a whole, whether or not it's worth building now, and all things like that. So without further ado, let's get this show started. I mean, before my Skillitary couldn't even punch across, right? So if I can beat this team, then if this goes really well, then that means I can punch up more next time, right? Okay, so this is like the best team I can find, and it's in the reactor room. So I think this is where I want them lined up. I don't really care too much if Merc Soldier dies, so I'm going to use this lineup, this positioning. Black Widow's in the center, so it kind of breaks chains a little bit here. They don't have chains, but it doesn't matter. And then Punisher's on the side here. So we're going to go with this. This is only a 50k punch up, but if this goes really, really well, then we know that, you know, their punch up potential is quite a bit higher. Just kind of like X Factor Namor, you know, can punch up really high against Marauders as well. So, you know what, if we can take some of these, if we can take this out, you know, I have most of the required T4s. I don't have the passive on Yelena, but I do have Punisher maxed out. We just picked up the special for Black Widow, and Merc Soldier has his passive, but he does not have the special. So let's go in. We have a total of 7 T4s on this team right now. So let's see if that's enough to even just punch across or marginally up here. And this is my first Skillitary attack in patch 5.3. Please let me win this, because I used to go on and on about, you know, how crap they are. So if we can win this, I'll be happy. So here we go. Start off, blah, blah, blah. We got disrupt. This should clear them, right? There we go. Thank you. And they gave me 2 turns of. Wait a minute. Why doesn't Red Guardian have speed up? Does that matter? Okay, let's see if we can land. This can't be blocked, right? So this should land. What? What? And now we can't clear, of course. Well, why did that not? Red Guardian doesn't get speed up? Okay, apparently I don't know that. I wonder if I should do... Let's try and steal the defense up there. Okay. A lot of shit's still going down. Red Guardian is taunting. Great. That's great. It's fucking great. I feel like we kind of screwed up a little bit there. That did a lot of damage, actually. So let's finish off. You know, just they have defense up. Let's just use the basic. So that did a lot of damage. We'll kill him. Can we stun Sinister? We did. We stunned Sinister. I don't know why Yelena's special didn't land on Strife, though. Fucking Red Guardian. Red Guardian's gonna taunt, isn't he? It's a fair big improvement on, Ooh, ouch. Ouch, that hurt. Ooh, ow, Yelena. Alright. Punisher did a lot of damage there, but we need to get Sinister down. You know what? I'm gonna try and kill him. There we go. I was gonna taunt, but I think that was more important. Fucking Red Guardian clone. Can we take that? We did, actually. Let's... Alright, so unfortunately, Punisher is slowed here. I'm gonna kill the rest of these guys off. Normally I leave Emma for last in this case, but we can stun her. That's a lot of damage. Punisher is doing a ton of damage here. Oh no! Merc Soldier. You know what? Let's hit Emma Frost with that grenade. Come on. Sabretooth's almost dead. Alright, so it's 4v1. 4v1 here, but she's immune. I think... You know what? I'm just gonna go all in here. Boom. 1, 2, 3. Oh, look at all that damage from Punisher. Wow. Yeah, my Punisher's gear tier 15 though, so you know, hey, he might have been shit in Dark Dimension 4 City, but he's redeeming himself now, I guess. That was some heavy hit damage there from Punisher. I think what could have made this a lot better was Yelena landing the special on Strife. Even though it can't be blocked, it seems like Strife's resistance, I guess, still was too high for Yelena, so maybe I need to put some more levels into Yelena for that. She's 74k gear 13. I'm kind of surprised. But, yeah, Emma took a lot of damage in Diamond form still. So my Punisher is 136k. The majority of the damage is coming from Punisher in this team. But, you know, there's a lot of supporting cast here. Yelena wasn't too bad, but I feel like I need to get her focus up a little bit more to land more reliably. If that 2-turn disrupt landed on Strife, we would have wiped the field a lot quicker. So I still feel, even though it can't be blocked, she still needs to pass that focus check. But if she can... If she lands that 2-turn disrupt, I think it's like game over, basically. Because I can go straight for Sinister, kill Sinister, and then, you know, just wipe everyone else out at that point. So this went better than expected. I think for next time, I'm going to try and get some resources into Yelena so that I can land that check more reliably. I either need Skirmisher level 5, I don't have the ISOs for that, or I need Gear Tier 14. Because that 14 will be like a 25% stat boost and some levels up to level 75. I think that'll probably make it very easy for her to land that after that. That's a huge focus bump after that. But Merc Soldier's passive really, like, you could see even Red Guardian was hitting like 60k on his basic, which is fairly high given that he's a tank. So yeah, this was a pretty big improvement to them. That's true. My Red Guardian's pretty big. But I would like to see a higher punch-up, I think, probably against more Tier 14 Marauders. And that'll be the next test. You know, can I punch up 100k? 150k? You know, where is the line, I guess, for it? And I'd like to test this against bigger Mercs. That's harder to do. Normally people have really big Marauders teams rather than really big Mercs teams. But I'll be keeping an eye out for that kind of stuff. And see how that goes. So yeah, take that with a grain of salt a little bit. But Punisher is very easy to gear in terms of this team. So it wasn't too bad, though. At least we got a win. I honestly cannot remember the last time I got a win with Skillitary, so hey. And so here we are in my roster window here in the game, and as you can tell, there are 6 skill military characters. Now, I would say, unless you have like 7 red stars and you're not using mercs, I would still say that Killmonger is probably best kept on that team with Taskmaster. I think he's a heavy hitter damage for that character, for that team rather, and you don't really need to have him on the Skillitary team. But what that does mean, though, is that the best version of this team now includes Black Widow. Also, Merc Soldier, my head's in the way a bit. He did receive substantial reworks to his passive, even though it didn't really need it all that much, but it just kind of like shoos him into that team even more. Now, outside of this team, you could actually use Captain Marvel on top of that. She is a military character, but not a skill military character. She does give some buffs on her passive to the military tag, but it's not the most ideal situation. But if you just don't have one of these characters, or you have really bad star levels or red stars or something, you might be able to make an argument for Captain Marvel. But obviously, if you watch the gameplay footage, I didn't use Captain Marvel, but you might still be able to clear the same stuff with her. So I just wanted to put that out there in case you have a really, really beefy Captain Marvel and you just wanted to place her somewhere. But what's really most important before I start anything off is Black Widow, because she was reworked into this team as of patch 5.3 with the military tag. And this is really important, not to mention the camouflage. What Skillitary really lacked was a way to cleanse debuffs, and camouflage tech really does that. But you do need the T4s for this, so it's very like, and again, my head's in the way, I should probably move this. Let's move myself over to the right here just for this section so it's a little bit easier. So if you're using Black Widow at all with the Wave 1 Avengers, then you would know that this T4 does clear negative stats effects, which is now being extended to the skill military allies, which is great because this was really the biggest weakness that they had. Not to mention that it also applies speed up to all the skill military allies as well for 2 turns. They're not as slow as they were before, so this part is really great. Like I said, if you are using Captain Marvel, it's not going to extend to her necessarily, but there is still that 60% chance up for the speed up for her if you are using her. But yeah, that's really, really great. Not to mention, now that whenever you apply speed up, or no, is it the passive here? I forget. There we go. On self or ally stealth, apply offense up to self and all skilled military allies. So this is really, 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 really good. So not to mention everyone's getting speed up, you're clearing negative stats effects, but you're also giving offense up to the entire team. And it also gives death proof to Yelena and Red Guardian on top of that. So really, really solid. The rework for Black Widow is really good. You don't really necessarily need this, but you definitely need to get the T4s for camouflage tech for Black Widow special. Really, really amazing. So moving on, of course, the next biggest character I have to mention out is Red Guardian. So he's actually pretty easy in terms of T4s. You don't really need a whole lot. You do probably want the passive because it does give 20% extra max health for himself and the skill military allies, and it gives speed up to all skill military allies on spawn instead of just defense up. So that's quite a bit as well. That does give a little bit of an extra bump. You are going to be getting the speed up anyways from Black Widow, but it does, I think, push that turn bar a little bit quicker before Black Widow takes her turn. But anyways, here, this is really all you need for Red Guardian. In terms, he is obviously farmable in the arena store now, but at higher credits. And wider usability, though, Red Guardian is the main tank for Doomraid's skill lane. He is okay in Dark Dimension 3 and 4 if you want to use him for skill gear for a tank. But outside of that, he doesn't really have a ton of uses, I don't think, right now in the game, aside from the Skillitary team. So take that as you will. Obviously, Punisher, he's another one I have geared up quite a bit. That's because I tried to make the Skillitary team work in the past back in January, and it just wasn't happening. And I spent a lot of T4s in it. You don't need the passive. The passive is actually related to Daredevil and the old Defenders rework, but you do want to get the ultimate for sure. This is the extra burst damage attack that you're going to get, and now it doesn't have that text anymore where it requires multiple Skillitary members, you know, so now it can be used anytime. Before, it's like if someone died, then you couldn't actually use that extra burst attack, the primary target. So now it doesn't matter. As long as you're in war, it works, which is great. And the grenade launcher, if you want to get this is kind of nice too, but the ultimate is the preferred first T4. This just transfers more positive effects from the enemies to the rest of the allies, so it's really nice. This is what this text here specifically is what a lot of the Skillitary team has, and they just transfer buffs to themselves, which is nice. Fourth up on the list is Yelena. So again, she got a bit of an improvement here with her special, so now it can't be blocked. This attack cannot be blocked, so this is the disrupt portion when you're fighting tanks. This is really important to say, either do it onto Merc Riot Guard or Taskmaster on Mercs, and then applying it to the Strife, of course, for the Marauders. So the T4 is pretty important here, I think, applying for 2 turns. and you don't necessarily need to get the passive. I think a lot of this is in reference to the fighting the Mercs team. Lower the crit chance on by additional 15%, and then on War Offense, if any non-protector skilletary ally is taunting, which comes from Taskmaster, clear that taunt and apply stealth and regen. So yeah, if you're not fighting a lot of Mercs, you don't really need to get this, and you don't necessarily need it either in order to beat them. I think, you know, if you had this, you know, the punch-up potential would be a lot higher, so really entirely up to you. So the amount of T4 expenditure now in the team isn't all that high. I would say it's about 1 T4 per character, which I wouldn't say is a ton. Now finally we're landing on a Merc Soldier. His passive really important though. I mean, without the T4s, you're getting 50% max health for the team, which is great, but that level 5 gives an extra 40% damage across the board for all of them, and that's a huge chunk of damage. So think of like Corvus Glaive, which gives 20% damage to the Black Order. This is double that for the team, so it's quite a bit. Not to mention Punisher is the main heavy hitter, but it still will bump up the damage on the team enough to, you know, my basic on Red Guardian in War can still hit for 60-70k, which is surprising, and a lot of that's coming from Mercenary Soldier. So I would say across the board 1 T4 at least for everyone, and I don't think that's too substantial of an investment at this point. Whether or not you want to build that, that's entirely up to you. You know, if you have a really beefy Wave 1 Avengers and it's like really hard to get rid of Black Widow in that case, then, you know, maybe Skillitary is not for you. But if you are looking for another team that can, you know, take out Mercs, can take out Marauders, can take out Doc Ox, then maybe this is the team for you. And if you already have some investment in some of these characters already, then maybe it's not that much more to take it up a little bit further for the rest of the team. Red Guardian is a popular late game character because you're going to need it for Doom Raid. Punisher, some people might still have this lying around, you know, if you had used them in Dark Dimension 3 or 4 just to get into the game mode, or if you were using them quite heavily in the old Defenders style. Yelena, newer character, but she is going to be farmable very soon. And Black Widow, of course, you know, some people might have her geared up already as well. So, you know, not a terrible amount of extra expenditure into this team, and if you are in need of a good solid War Offense team, then this might be the one for you. But otherwise, let me know in the comments down below what you guys think of the Skillitary rework. Have you tried it since? Honestly, I am quite glad, you know, that I did put the expenditure into it when I did, and now I'm seeing returns on it, and I'm winning almost every match that I use them with, so that's great. With a varying degree of punch-up depending on what I'm playing against, but, you know, you can probably land at least 100k punch-up with the right T4s, as long as you have those that one T4 on each of the characters, then you should see that as well. So yeah, let me know all of that down below. This is the end of the video here, guys. But yeah, I'm so glad that Skillitary saw an improvement, because man, I was so angry sitting on basically a 500k Skillitary that was garbage, but now it's working a ton better, and I'm happy with this change. So at least there's one thing to be happy about. So thanks for watching the video, guys, and if this was informative for you, let me know all of that down below. Smash that like button, please, and if you haven't subscribed to the channel, please do so. And of course, until next time, stay safe. I'll see y'all later. Well, I'm signing out.